It was not only the most embarrassing time of my life, it was one of the darkest, most saddest points of my career. Here I was on my way to play almost 25 years in the big leagues, on my way to potentially the Hall of Fame. I'm letting my mother down, letting my siblings, and of course my two daughters. But what was interesting about that year, when I look back at it now almost a decade later, hard to believe I'm going to say this, but it's probably the best thing that happened to me because of the lessons learned, the way I was able to turn the lens inward and have a lot of therapy. And really, I may have caused myself the Hall of Fame, and I have no one to blame but myself.
The greatest gift that I have is I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everything that I have. I wake up every day and I thank the good Lord. Great entrepreneurs are people that have failed a great deal and just keep getting back up, keep getting back up. I know you get tired. I know you get complacent. I had two dreams when I was 10. The two B's, baseball and business. I just wanted to spend one day in the big league, right? I wanted to make 1 million. I wanted to hit one home run. As a kid, coming from Miami with nothing, but a lot of pride, a lot of dreams.
My mother, I saw her, firsthand work two jobs. And she was a secretary in the morning, and then she served tables at night.
Could never come to my games, not because she didn't want to, because she couldn't. She had to pay the rent, right? And that's when I started first having my dreams of, boy, if I can be a landlord and not a tenant. Because we had to continue to move every 6 months, every 12 months, every 18 months, because we just couldn't make the rent. We couldn't pay the rent.
And I can remember vividly when I was a 10, 11-year-old boy, her coming home and having her pouch from her tip money. And I remember watching the Mets game every night. After the game, my mother would arrive and I would take her cash and I remember being in the counter counting her money. And on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, it was $22, $23, $24. But by Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it was $58, $62, $63. But then she did something interesting. She would go in her bedroom and I would help her as a 10-year-old boy lift the mattress and stick the cash under the mattress. And I said, Mom, why under the mattress and not like Bank of America or Chase or Wells Fargo? She's like, well, son, I don't trust banks, I trust my mattress. And my father didn't really like Miami as much as he did New York and DR. So he ended up leaving, and that was unexpected and it was unfortunate. And I always thought he would come back. At the time, it was a crushing blow, no question about it.
Now my father, before he left, he was incredible with numbers, and he was a pretty good entrepreneur. And when I was born in New York, my first 4 years, we had a shoe store at the house. And he was well known for never having to use a calculator. And then he was a baseball player, he was a catcher. So in many ways, I got a chance to live out my two dreams. I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player, and I wanted to run a business. There's two things that separate the good and the great, the boys and the men, and the pro and the amateur. Two things in baseball. One is fundamentals, and two is confidence. The same two are true for business. So if you want to be great at business, study, be a fundamentalist, and then you got to grow your confidence. And you grow your confidence by starting small. I know there's a big, large room and we like to think big, but if you execute the small things, big things will start happening when you don't even expect them. George Steinbrenner passed away a few years ago, but when I played for the Yankees, he taught me the three most important things to winning a championship. He said, number one, Alex, is team. Number two, Alex, is team. And number three, Alex, is team. You can't do great things with average people. I'd rather have a good player that wants to play 7 days a week than a great player with a poor attitude that wants to play twice a week. But here's the great thing, is I get all the young people and I bring them to the table. Because it's not enough to practice, you gotta play. From age 20 to 30, I said, forget about what they're paying you. Find a boss that you like, that respect, that will mentor you, that will bring you to the table and give you some at-bats. You need to learn. It's not enough to read a book. It's not enough to come here. You need a mentor to say, get at the table and learn with me, and I'll teach you how to win. But you have to have the vision, and the vision has to be clear. It's repetition. We have to be resilient, obsessed with process. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. To be a champion, you need talent, passion and grit, but then you need poise and discipline. And the last two, you can't have a shortcut. You gotta have time, you gotta have reps, and that's what our team needs. And in the future, we'll be more prepared when our time comes. People always ask me, Grant, how do you guys do so much? And I say there's 3 letters, VCP. VCP, Vision, Capital, People. Grant and I have the vision. We collectively have the capital. And then Grant and I can go out and find the greatest people in the world to buy into our vision, our dedication, and our discipline. So with VCP, you can scale. We're a $2 billion business today. We have over 1,000 people that work in our organization. We own over 40 companies. We're taking 7 public this year. There's 3 reasons why players go bankrupt. 1, average career is 5.5 years. 2, you make 92% of your life income between age 20 and 30. And 3, of the 750 players in Major League Baseball today, buckle your seatbelt, only less than 5% have a college degree. And I mean undergrad, not business or master's. So with those 3 data points, it scared the living crap out of me. And I said, I do not want to be one of those negative statistics and be on 30-30 for broke. So I started buying my first apartment when I was just 22. That little boy who had that dream, I want to trade places with the landlord. 12 years later, I had an opportunity right here in South Miami, and I bought a duplex for $250,000, and that was it. And I was off to the races. You know, people don't know this. Everyone talks about those silly stats you mentioned. You know which is my favorite? The one you didn't talk about. I'm 5th all time in the history of baseball in strikeouts. That means there's only 4 people in the history of mankind who have more strikeouts than me. Now, that means I have a PhD in failing, okay? But I also have a master's in getting back up. And that's the key in life. You're gonna get knocked down, you gotta get up, you gotta dust off and have positive, take time for yourselves, take a little time for yoga and Zen, and put Instagram away, put the phones away, and let's connect in old school conversations, because I miss it. I miss it, and I'm sure some of you guys missed it as well. Thank you very much.